Party left from power sometime in 2003 will remain around the corridor of power. And I hear clearly that despite all that happened during our past, we always notice that the representation of the National Patriotic Party will always be in national legislature. Even if it is not by our ticket, it is by our origin. And I want to say here before welcoming all of you here that the Constitution of this country gives right to every Liberian the right to work. The United Party government in its platform presented to the Liberian people clearly state that the rule of law takes precedence over all. If this is to be demonstrated, the issue of running behind people because they are not partisan and are in protected position is a serious challenge to the opposition community. I want to say here that President Bwaka will revisit his decision. We are quiet, but we are not weak. We are quiet, but we are not weak. If you cannot listen to the Supreme Court of Liberia and make a decision to sidestep the Supreme Court decision, it means you are inviting political action. I want to say here clearly that those individuals that enjoy tenure in this country were based on a legislative action, sitting in legislative assembly, and those bills were passed, signed by the Vice President of this Republic then, and that law can no longer, or we can no longer remain silent to see those laws set aside. The National Patriotic Party have been silent because we know when we act, the entire Africa will know how we acting. This is why we are kept quiet, try to pursue the legal action, try to pursue engagement, because we know some of our parties help the United Party to come to power and will remain constructive. It is our hope, Mr. Arwas, James Barney, Chairman of the Chairman Executive, and the lone senator elected on his party ticket will take note of this. We are talking not from the position of weakness. We are talking because we want to be constructive. We have the ability to use political power and demand what belongs to us in this country, but we don't want to do that because we have to give chance for the democratic space to be fertilized. And another thing I want to say here to all of you, we are happy that all of our partisans, especially those who some became independent, when the other party, we encourage you to return to this party. This is the only party. This is the only party that we formed as a result of our tear, our blood, and to go down. Your being is strictly to ensure that our national headquarters is open. It's open. This is the only party that will not be a rental building. When our founding father and first Standard Bearer were leaving, he said, when I leave here, I will leave here to be permanently located. And we can say, if we can both, that we are the only party, we are among the parties in this country that own assets that can sustain us. Our vice president, who was then the Standard Bearer of this party, is now in the country. Her Excellency, Madam Joy Howard Taylor, who I love to be here, but I'm told she's out of the country. The NPP will work in unison to ensure that we move forward. Regarding the 100 days, when it comes to the rule of law, the NPP created the UPP, the UP 50%. When it comes to the building of road, we want to say thank you because people are leaving from here, going to the southeast, they see they're coming back to Monrovia. That means the UP is doing well in the area of road construction. We might admit that. We will criticize you when you go wrong, and we'll praise you when you go right. And let it be noted here, winning election does not mean Liberia for you alone. Liberia belongs to us all. And anything fought with the propensity to undermine our existence as the people in this country, trample on our right, we advance ourselves politically. Having said that, I want to welcome all of you here, the former president of the Liberian Senate, our President Finley, who had not been in this party, but by extension, he's been rooted in this party before. I want to welcome you here. And we want to welcome the Honorable Mose Kwali. Mose Kwali is no stranger to the party. He has been a member of the party. But one strategy we've been using in this country, people don't know. When we began rock and say, go to other area, go hustle somewhere else. When you hustle on the land, like, at the end of the day, come by, let's talk. You understand? Today, in 2017, myself went another way. So nobody can deprive that because the man went on the other side. You cannot allow the parties any longer. Our party, by tradition and by precedent, you can go and come back, you'll see with me here. And now, no party where one man who is. On the issue of the framework document, we entered an agreement in 2023. We entered 2016 and we renegotiated and ratified 2023. That agreement remains valid, but that the NPP will revisit a position. I respect that agreement. Because the days for people to relegate up politically is over. If we are to remain in a marriage or enter a new marriage, it will not be where at the end of the day you say, only here. And nobody will believe that a party that co-led this country for 6 years often will be like this. Meaning, no significant position was held by parties of the NPP besides the vice president position and I serving 8 month service in the government. We cannot repeat that history. And we want to say here, you are welcome, and all of you, some of our parties in the United Party, we want to thank you. You made a decision. At the end of the day, those decisions work for you. And we're hoping that the United Party will understand that in our struggle to hunt for power, we were able to borrow them forces, and those forces help them to be where they are. So President Baga cannot, in 2017, our chairman of the party, then vice chairman, are with him, along with the Secretary General. He didn't win. And by 2023, the national chairman decided to go that way, and we went on the other side. So we want to say thank you again. You are welcome. You are welcome here, and we hope that we'll continue to work together as partisan, especially so the LPDP representative at a higher level once they're welcome here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable George Shimon. Above all else, don't touch man, Pepper Bush. Don't touch man. Who are the Pepper Bush? The people. Thank you. Next is overview of the party current activities. Mike Kishin, National Vice Chairman for Operation. If he's here, please take the podium. If not, if you have a representative, Please come and give us an overview of the party current activities. The SG we have our next on the program sheet is our guest speaker. Before the guest speaker come out to speak, we would love to give you a brief history about him, who is our guest speaker. So we will again invite Mary to come out to give a brief history about our guest speaker.
Oh, stay! Me today, you're not thinking how to do. And maybe to step down because this thing I can whatsoever. Our guest speaker is a bona fide member of the National Patriotic Party. He is a founding member of the National Patriotic Youth Council. And of the present, when you see him, he still looks like a youth. Our guest speaker, he still looks like a youth. In 2001, our guest speaker graduated with a bachelor's degree in mass communication and sociology from the University of Liberia. In 2009, he got an MA Development Studies and Institute of Social Studies, The Hague, Netherlands. He got an MA degree in Developmental Studies, Institute of Social Studies in The Hague, the Netherlands. 2011, our guest speaker graduated from the Louis Arthur Graham School of Law. So you see, the NPP, they can grow their own. 2011, our guest speaker, he graduated from the Arthur Louis School of Law. Our guest speaker is the former youth coordinator of the National Campaign Committee, NCC. Our guest speaker, he is the former youth coordinator. Our guest speaker is a founding member. I've said that already. In 2019, he became counselor at law. 2018 rather, he became counselor at law, and he is practicing law presently. Our guest speaker is a married man. He's not taking no married with 3 biological children and other adopted children. So you see that our guest speaker who had the good man. Ladies and gentlemen, our high table, permit me to present to you Councillor Bobby S.W. Livingstone, who will be speaking to us today on this unique program. You are welcome, sir. I will say, c'est quoi, MPP c'est quoi, MPP c'est quoi, Thank you very much. Mr. Senator James Barney, other senators present, including Senator Edwin Melvin Snow, friend and brother, Senator Besonga Finley, our national chairman, Honorable George Bester Molba, our National Secretary General, other members of the National Executive Committee of the National Patriotic Party, our Chairman Emeritus, Chief Cyril Allen, and distinguished members of the high table on both ends. Ladies and gentlemen, we are glad with the special outpouring of divine providence that we are able to assemble here today
to give meaning to the quest to rejuvenate the National Patriotic Party and to return it to its original home here in Town, Congo Town. We are exceedingly glad that this gathering was planned, and it is to mark the dawn of a new day in the National Patriotic Party. Today, ladies and gentlemen, this special occasion is being convened to reflect on where the NPP has come from, where it is at the moment, and where it is going. We therefore preface these remarks by invoking God's grace of longevity and good health upon the lives of the heroes and heroines of this party. Those who have kept the flames of this noble party burning amidst tears, sorrows, and joy. We offer to you our humble salute. Ladies and gentlemen, we have assembled here at the headquarters of the National Patriotic Party to sound a clarion call for all partisans of the NPP to return home and blend their voices and bring forth their talents and treasures to reawaken this party. For this party, which is Liberia's most formidable grassroots party, was lost, but now it has been formed. It was in a political dungeon. Now it must rise and live again. It must rise and take its rightful place on the political landscape of the country. This is a moment to reflect soberly on the ideas and vision of the founding architects of this revolutionary party, and to take time to reminiscence on the great dreams and philosophy that symbolizes the party, which is liberty, justice, discipline, and work. This, like it or hate it, I repeat, like it or hate it, the NPP government left indelible imprints which are still visible on our landscape. The creation of the Central Bank of Liberia, the Ministry of Gender and Development, the National Oil Company NOCA, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Environmental Protection Agency, the Revenue and Financial Code of 2002, to name but a few, are credited to the National Patriotic Party. This party, the NPP, remains a seed that will continue to grow and has continued to grow since it was planted over 30 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 years of what has been duped, a failed and unproductive political marriage to the Congress for Democratic Change, the CDC, the party has been left to a rude awakening that it cannot continue to conduct itself as a party of rancor and discord. This party cannot proceed on a mantra of business as usual, or it could be subjecting itself to a whirlwind of destruction. The party must take a definite stance on its political future with the CDC. After 6 years of political lineage, no dividends, the NPP has nothing to say. It had nothing to boast about but tears. It is often said the only thing necessary for the trial of evil is for good and courageous men to do nothing. The worst thing in this enterprise that we find ourselves in is fear. Fear does not stop death, it stops life. The reward for politics is not in heaven. So the NPP must learn its lessons. They must learn its lesson. They often say experience is the best teacher. And I quote from Chairman Bani and Senator Bani, there is no cross in politics. The only thing that is common and remain constant in politics is interest. And I said to you, to grow old is a must, but to be wise and mature is a choice. So, ladies and gentlemen, to do so, now is the time for the NPP to rise from the slumber and reposition itself as a formidable grassroots party. To do so, it must do some internal soul searching and must recalibrate. The party must explore new opportunities and open itself to new political meet and greet sections. I repeat that. The party must open itself to new political meet and greet sections. The party must be prepared to embrace new ideas that will aid it in its decision making now and going forward. The party needs to stop of outdated concepts and practices no longer in tandem with current realities. And Chief Ali will say that to the realities of changing times. The NPP is at a critical threshold to decide either to close its eyes, fold its hands, and wait for its eventual collapse, or to rise to the occasion to make itself relevant in the emerging national political discourse. Nehemiah made a clarion call to his fellow countrymen to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem when all the odds were against him. In my elementary school, we were taught the motto, finishing to begin. The 2023 elections have come and ended. We have a new political dispensation. How the NPP conducts itself and navigates its way will determine if it will remain relevant now and going to the 2029 elections. The NPP has a huge potential of making a significant political comeback if it sets the right priorities and puts its house in order. The first step, ladies and gentlemen, the first step in this endeavor is to do what we call internal reconciliation. A house divided against itself cannot stand. NPP tower need to return to their party. The saying is true that nowhere is like home. Wherever you are as an NPP partisan, no matter what you do, you are still regarded as an outsider and treated with suspicion. So come back home and help to rebuild the broken walls of your party. NPP is the only party where you will not be alienated and treated as an outsider. NPP has some of the most educated, most brilliant and sophisticated Liberians and political, what I call Hercules, that have the requisite gallantry to surmount any political battle. The NPP is still a force to reckon with. The second thing the NPP must do is to assess the political marriage to the CDC and do the needful. In a relationship, if your partner does not respect or regard you, that partner does not value the relationship, you must quit that relationship. You must quit that relationship. The third thing is for the party to extend an olive branch to all of its members and bring them back to the fold of the party. The recent controversies of appointment and withdrawals, which some of you know, have unraveled the stubborn truth that even with the best education and professional competence, it is better to have a political home than to be an outsider or a sympathizer to a political party. When the interest of an insider and that of an outsider clash, the interest of the insider will supersede that of the outsider. I repeat that. When the interest of an insider and that of an outsider clash, the interest of the insider will supersede that of the outsider. It is no longer time to be a backbencher or to play what we call political idleness. In the new political dispensation, the NPP must ask the critical question: what interest does the NPP have? What interest does the NPP have? In my mind, the current political configuration has a room for the NPP to assert itself and become a strategic partner in the forward march of the country. This is the direction I see and project. Chairman James Barney, permit me to still call you Chairman Jim Barney. Okay. And some like minds of the NPP supported JNB and the Unity Party. Against this backdrop, it is possible to argue that the NPP has been a part of the making of two successive regimes. One formally by a coalition framework and the other by a way of a loose political alliance of like-minded partisans of the NPP who supported JNB like myself, which is no secret. So being somewhat a part of the making of the current political establishment, the NPP must engage the JNB somehow a part of making the current political establishment. The NPP must engage the JNB government from a vantage point. It does not have to be unnecessarily antagonistic, but constructive, by exemplifying the characteristics of a true friend. Who is a true friend? One who will call a spade, but without an intent to harm or destroy. The party will re-emerge stronger than before as an independent political party. Ladies and gentlemen, this discourse about reconciliation remains an illusion unless concrete and practical steps are taken to dismantle the structures of exclusion which have been mounted over the past years. Reconciliation process in which political submission translates to economic opportunity is cosmetic and is a breeding ground for discord. A reconciliation process in which political submission translates to economic opportunity is cosmetic and is a breeding ground for discord. Focus on President Joseph Newman Boakai to transcend the unusual that has attended the subject of reconciliation and truthfully extend olive branches to his political opponents. For many of us, we have no other place to call home. We will therefore do ourselves a disservice by clinging onto outdated axioms and divisive politics by erecting structures of exclusion. The opportunity of being privileged to steer the affairs of this country should impose upon this administration the sacred obligation to protect and defend the collective interests of all Liberians, regardless of which of this political divide one finds himself or herself. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you, my brothers and sisters, my fathers and mothers of the National Patriotic Party, to buckle up now and know that the dream that you dreamed yesterday is still around and can be harnessed if the NPP holds together and puts the broken pieces back together. This party remains the most consistent grassroots political movement ever in the history of the Republic of Liberia. Remember, you are the strength that others are boasting about. NPP can therefore amalgamate its strength and work collectively to restore the years the locusts have eaten. Let us therefore brave the icy current and rise to the challenge of the daunting challenges we face. Together, we can revive the party and make it the first among equals. We go above our rights to prove we will overall prevail. Thank you very much.
Honorable Bobby Livingstone. Give me an applause.